there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I decided to turn on the camera because I'm doing a experiment with varnishing oil pastel. I put 3 layers of fixative on this. Now I did also use the Krylon workable fixative a couple times during the painting of the piece, and now I'm coating it with gloss medium. This is Royal and Langnickel gloss medium, and the reason I'm using this is because it's really thick. And it shouldn't bead up on the oil pastel. Generally, I'm not a big fan of doing something water-based over something oil-based, but where oil pastels don't ever really fully dry, I thought this might work. And I did see another oil pastel artist talk about using gloss medium to seal their oil pastels. Now, I think I'll probably end up doing a matte varnish on top. Like something that could be like a removable varnish. That way, if a painting ever did need to get cleaned, it could be, I mean, I'm not really thinking that somebody 300 years from now is going to need to archivally restore one of my paintings, but you know, you never know. Somebody might really like it anyway. And so, yeah, I'm going to give this a coat of the gloss medium, and then we'll come back and look at it once it's dry. Just to reiterate though, I did use 3 coats of the Sennelier d'Argenty oil pastel fixative. That kind of dries it out and puts a bit of a glossy coating over everything. So there should be a hard surface that this is sticking onto anyway. Sorry for the background noise, but I did just want to show you this while I was doing it because I have to do it while it's still wet. I'm using this large flat brush just to smooth out any of the brush strokes. I thought about leaving them in because I think they're kind of painterly looking and nice, but then I thought, I think it's better to go for smooth. I can always add another layer and brush it the opposite way if I need to. I got a little crud in there, so. But it's not smearing the oil pastel, which is really what my big concern was. That is a little oil pastel booger that was not sealed down with a fixative. Also, if you look, you want to make sure you don't have any little oil pastel boogers in there. I know, technical term, and pick them off with your brush if you find any. Also, I would go around the edges if you have any like little beads of medium. I would just kind of go around and wipe them with your finger or something so that you won't have that ridge. I'll repaint the edges black just to make them, you know, kind of nice and neat so I can hang this and it'll be good. I'm also looking for any areas where it doesn't seem like I've got a good coating of the gloss medium. All right, we are here. It is the next day, and this worked really well. There's no stickiness at all on here. It is a little too shiny, so we are going to coat it with Minwax polyacrylic matte finish. I've been using this for years on furniture. I've never had it yellow. I've never had any issues with it. So I don't think I'm going to have an issue here. I did go ahead and repaint the edges with black just to make sure I covered up any smudges that were on there. And we're just going to give this a nice coat of the matte. And you know, I could go right over and do the edges too, but I think it'll be about the same finish as my acrylic paint. Oh, you know what? I think I'll do it this way because I did the gloss medium in the opposite way. And I mean, you could put as many coats as you want to. Generally, they sand between coats if you're going to do multiple coats. And if you didn't want to use the Minwax polyacrylic, you actually could use, I think, pretty much anything you want for a varnish. You could even use an oil varnish, especially if you wanted that warmer tone. The gloss is going to protect it pretty well, and this is going to be way more than just fixative. And I will show you something I just sprayed with the fixative just to give you a comparison. And I'm going to spread this out a little bit more. I just want to make sure I get it well coated. But this dries extremely hard. You may be thinking, why are you bother doing this? You've got that gloss protection on it right now. Well, for one, I don't really want the bright gloss. And for two, a gloss, I mean, they do sell gloss medium / varnish, but I find that gloss medium tends to get sticky if it's in a really high humidity situation. So I didn't really want that to happen. Kind of like if you Mod Podge something. If you've ever Mod Podged something with gloss Mod Podge, it gets sticky. If you ever Mod Podged like a art journal page and or a sketchbook page, you've closed the book, it will get sticky. Well, this is already drying. Oh my gosh. Holy moly, it's already drying. You gotta work quick. So I'm basically, when I'm doing this, I'm feeling for drag. I am feeling a little bit of drag, but I think it's already starting to dry. Holy cow. Yeah, so maybe I will do another coat. It looks milky now, but that's normal for that is normal for varnish, the water-based varnish. It's self-leveling. I don't feel like I got the edges very good, but I'll probably need another coat just for uniformity's sake. So yeah, let's let this dry. I'll do another coat. I don't want to keep working over it because I'm going to leave brush marks, but yeah, we'll do another coat because I will need it. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed with this. And this is what the fixative just looks like on its own. I did 4 coats of fixative, and that's pretty well protected, but there's still, like, I could rub that and pick up some of that. See, I don't know if that shows on my finger. I picked up a little of that brown. It's definitely not as protected as this. I could probably go over it with this, honestly, and it would be fine. But I plan on framing that under glass, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm just going to check for drips around the edge. I can see I've got one right there. I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with my brush. Then we'll see. We'll see how different the finish is. Alright, it's about 3 hours after I put this coat on, and Minwax says you can recoat polyacrylic after 2 hours. I like the look of this. This almost looks like it's got, like it's been waxed, honestly. I don't know if I really need another coat, honestly. It's pretty even. Well, and where it went over the edge, it doesn't seem to be different in shininess than my paint, so, there is, like, I'm seeing little specks where, I'm going to try to press it with my fingernail, little specks where my oil pastel wasn't smooth because I paint pretty, you know, I can go pretty thickly sometimes. But let's yeah, I mean, I'm not like jamming my fingernail in there, but I am scratching and it's not causing any trouble. Oh guys, I think this is gonna work really well. I am gonna do another coat. And then I'll just let it sit up. But I think we've got a winner here. Now, this is a rigid support, so I don't think I'm gonna get cracking with it. Unlike maybe on a stretch canvas where it can flex, there would be some cracking issues, but I don't think I'm gonna have that with this. I did get asked to sell this painting, but I don't think I'm going to. I think what I'm going to do is hang it in my kitchen, because these colors will go with my kitchen really well, and keep an eye on it. And so I am doing this on January 25th, 2024. I'm like, gosh, what year is it? And if you are watching this video in the future, and you want to say, hey Lindsay, how's that painting holding up? Please do. Please go ahead. Or look at the comments and see if anybody's asked lately, and then you can see, I might say, oh man, it cracked, or whatever. I'm going to hang this in my kitchen, and I am going to keep you all up to date with how it goes. I'm trying not to get too much because I don't want to have to smooth it out, but it's really easy to see on this coat because it dries nice and matte. It's easy to see where I've been and where I haven't been. All right, here we are the next day. This feels really nice. It is matte. I can still see my brush strokes or my pastel strokes. You can see we've got a even kind of matte satin finish, and I think this is going to work pretty well. And like I mentioned in the last clip, I'm going to hang this up in my kitchen, and we'll just see how it does. The layer is pretty thin of my oil pastel. Now, one thing that I think I would avoid if I'm going to do this technique again, and I actually just used a knife and cut out a little bit of, it was a little like an oil pastel ball that had gotten, I guess, dislodged and was kind of in one of the coats there. I would use my pastels a little bit thinner. So something I mentioned when I was doing this project, I do have a time-lapse tutorial of this on my YouTube channel. One of the things that I did was I painted this all black, and then I worked on top of that black. So it was black, Liquitex clear gesso because it's gritty, and then I did my painting. If I had to do it again, I would do my underpainting in color. So I primed it in acrylic paint to begin with. So if I was to do this again, I would have sketched on the raw wood. I would have painted like all this blue, all this yellow, this black, this white, this yellow. I would have got the basic underpainting down, so it was just kind of like a flat cutout type image. Then I would have done my clear gesso, and then I would have done the oil pastels, because then I could have kept my layer a lot thinner, because what I don't like the look of here is the, like, when I have like a bit, like a thick bump of oil pastel. I don't like that, but there's really nothing I can do about that now. I mean, I could do stuff. I mean, I could like resin it or something, but I don't really want to do that. Also, something you might want to think about, I did a water-based varnish on top, but if I did an oil-based varnish on top, then the gloss medium would be like an isolation coat, and then that top varnish could be removed if needed be, like if need be. I don't see why we would need to remove the varnish on this, because it shouldn't yellow. I've never had polyacrylic yellow. It's in water-based varnish. It should be fine. And the reason why I was able to do like the acrylic gloss medium and the water-based varnish on top of the oil pastel is because I used this fixative over the oil pastel to kind of dry it up and seal it, so that I could go over the water base. I want to use the water base on top because the water base is not going to smear the oil, and this was thick enough to just sit on there, and I think probably I could have just gotten by with one or two coats of this instead of the 3 that I did. But overall, I'm really pleased with this, and I think it's going to be a really nice option. And like I mentioned with this is just the Sennelier fixative. I love that fixative. My only disappointment with that is how expensive it is and how it feels like there's not that much in the can. But I like the way this looks too. But if I rubbed my finger over this, I could still smear and lift up some of that some of the color. But I love what it does with the colors. But you might not like the gloss. I mean, there's so many different options out there. If you have some experiments that you would like to share in the comments below to help inform us all, please do. If you've had something that's worked really well for you, if you have a fixative you recommend, if you have an oil pastel brand you recommend, anything that has to do with oil pastel framing, I would love to hear about it, because the more we share our experiences and what's worked for us, the more painting fun we can have, the less money we'll waste, and it'll just be good in general. So thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tip video and if you'd like more like it. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.